Chicano Park in San Diego's Barrio Logan neighborhood is a museum in the unlikeliest of places, underneath a web of highway overpasses. During the 1970s, a group of artists looked at the park's concrete pylons, and instead of an eyesore, they saw a canvas. These same artists are back in the park today, restoring 18 of the 72 historic murals.
It is important because if we don't, they're going to disappear for one day. These were painted 30, 40 years ago. And the paints that we use then are not as strong and much more everlasting, and they're better made today.
At the time, artists really didn't have money to buy paint, so their resources were the resources from car dealerships, throwing out discarded paints we all love to use as artists because we don't know what we're going to get, but they used anything they can get their hands up.
These artists were documenting the political and social struggles of their community. They were also celebrating a rich history and culture of Mexican Americans. Portions of that history are now missing, as sections of the murals were removed because of lead in the paint.
This is the areas that were lined out in the report for the lead abatement that had lead paint, so it's been extracted already and removed. And there are certain areas, spots, you see holes here, here, and over here.
These holes will be filled in during the restoration, but contaminated paint isn't the only challenge in preserving the murals.
We have to see a lot of water damage. And plus, the cement expands, contracts through the year. There's fog, there's marine air, there's fallout from the traffic and soot. You know, there's carbons, hydrocarbons that are hitting it all the time.
Oh, I'm just laying out the foundation colors for the clouds. On top of this, I'm going to come in with pinks and grays and a little bit of yellow highlights so the clouds look like early morning sunrise.
Felipe Adame painted 9 of the park's murals, including this one on the ceiling of a bandstand.
The only deterioration that happened on this one was the ceiling cracked because the moisture was collecting up on the roof.
Adame was painting a mural in Mexico in the early 90s and was attacked. His injuries led to rheumatoid arthritis, and he now paints from a wheelchair.
I've converted it into a positive asset because I can wheel myself around much easier than if I were standing up. So I have a recliner already, and I can raise the handle here so I can rest my arm on the ledge here and paint. I can still see and I can still paint. Thank God for that.
With our 40 years of professional expertise, we're doing fantastic work. As you see, some of the murals are already finished with. It's amazing. They look better than they were the first time.
Artist Victor Ochoa is finally able to finish his mural titled All the Way to the Bay, which he started in 1978.
This time that we have a budget is like the first time that I've been able to buy pigments, colors that in my whole life as a mural painter, I'd never been able to afford. So we just recently bought 1,100 pounds of acrylics. We had to get a special truck to bring them over. And it's just so amazing to have these colors.
Despite the cold days, the artists are excited to be back working in the park, where many of them took part in protests that preserved this mostly Latino neighborhood.
It's kind of this reunion is not only are we refurbishing the walls, but refurbishing our own spirits, because we were so together back then. We got in different directions. Now we're coming back, and we're coming grown up and really understand life a little better. But the restoration is important in the meantime because it is our history. It is something that doesn't just belong to the barrio, but it belongs to all San Diego, to the world of arts, to American art, because this is very much an American art phenomenon, you know.